Hey YouTube, and welcome to another episode of Shenzo Plays. Today I'll be playing Mario Kart World, but this time I'm going to be doing every single 150cc circuit. I think there's like 6 of them, I think. I can't remember exactly. We're going to be doing all these today. This was a reward originally unlocked for all of you guys raising a ton of money for the Trevor Project back in June. We're fulfilling it now. I have literally never done any of the races on 150cc. I've done everything else in the game. I've been waiting to do this, so I'm very excited to play them all. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your support of the Trevor Project. And of course, thank you very much for being here and doing what you do. You know, it means a lot to me. You guys know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and a comment on it. It helps a lot with that algorithm, trust me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of my content. There's a lot of it, including shorts, which I'm trying to post, if not daily, then at least every other day. And of course, hit that alarm bell if you want to get notified when new videos will drop. But thank you very much for watching, YouTube. Can't wait to experience this with you guys, and I'll see you on the other side. Hey YouTube, welcome back. We are here, single player. We'll be doing some Grand Prix, all the circuits. I'll be playing as Mechanic Luigi on the Locomoto, because I do love me some trains. But as you can see, I have gotten 3 stars on every one for, let's see, I think there's actually 8 of them. I said 6 in the intro. There's actually 8. I forgot about the Special Cup. And even then, I still would have been wrong. Yay. But, yeah, so as you guys can see, I've done 100cc on all of the cups, but I have not done 150 even once. And so that's because I have been saving it for you guys. So I'm very excited. I hope you guys will enjoy this. But we're just going to go through. The goal is not to be perfect. It's just to go through and play and do the best I can. Because 150cc, I have heard, is brutal. I've never gotten to play it, as you guys can tell. But I've heard it's pretty brutal. So we'll see how we do here. So a little fun fact, guys. Part of the reason for those watching on Twitch, YouTube, I was a little late today, and part of the reason why was because we had a power outage yesterday, and I had to reset all of my settings, because all my lights and stuff were plugged in, and I had to redo all the lights and everything. It was not fun today, so that's why I was late, because I turned on everything. I was like, why is this so bright? Why do I look whiter than normal? Oh, and it's because, you know, the lights are on maximum settings because that's what they default to. I don't have, the fancy lights that save your settings. So I gotta... So I gotta manually redo it. Someday when I have the big streamer bucks, you know? Someday. Rainella says he became as pale as me. I'm pretty pale. I only really go outside when I have to give Tanner his 4-letter word starting with W and then ending with K. Oh, well, there goes my protection. I think I got the lighting set okay. I think it looks alright. If not, someone yell at me in chat, please. Or comment on YouTube and make fun of me. One of the two. I have gotten... I do have to say, I got some really nice comments on some of my shorts on YouTube, so huge shout out to all the people who have been leaving, you know, nice messages on my shorts. Greatly appreciated. Again, every comment, every like, it does help with the YouTube algorithm. I had to do, for those that don't know, I had to do extensive research on the YouTube algorithm because I was wondering what the heck was going on. And yeah, likes and comments help with discoverability a lot. So thank you guys very, very much. And hey, first race, got first place. We'll take it. Lighting looks good. Thank you, Rainella. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think I've got it. I think I've got the settings pretty much memorized, but it does stink that, like, yeah, if there's a power outage or, like, a USB port dies, like what happened literally when I was about to hit the go live button, it does stink that, I have to reset it every time. But, you know, minor thing. First world problems, am I right? Oh, that car just totally stole my item. So, I don't know how you guys feel with this game being out for over a month now, but I definitely fall into the category that while the driving to the next track is really cool, Nintendo needs to add more item boxes. Because otherwise there's just too many... there's just too many of them where it just stretches of, like, nothing happening. That's kind of my opinion after playing through, like, every Grand Prix multiple times. On the lower difficulties. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't hate driving to the next tracks at all. But I just feel there's, like, some of them where there's just stretches where it's like, oh, literally nothing happens. And I don't know, I feel it's a problem that could be pretty easily solved by just adding a few more item boxes so they're a little closer together. That's my 2 cents anyway. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I think I'm full of shit. Let me know in the comments. But that's kind of just my opinion after, you know, playing through, like, every track, including the knockout tours. You know, multiple times. Alright. Got first on the second race. That's pretty cool. I wonder if they've updated to make the CPUs a little less brutal on 150cc, because I know when the game first came out, that's all I was hearing about was like, oh man, yeah, it's like the CPUs were brutal. They get, like, better items and stuff like that. I wonder if they've made any changes, because I know this game's been updated a couple times since I last played it. I had to download an update, actually, before I went live today. But I didn't bother to, like, take a look at, you know, the patch notes or whatever. Oh, of course. I take first place and immediately get blue shelled. Did DK just try to pimp slap you? Probably. Hi, Zejuto. Hi, Grifta. Welcome on in. It's good to see you guys. I cannot wait until I can get until I get a new job, just so I can play Bonanza, because I have now heard from, like, 5 different people that Bonanza is the game of the year. Including some creators who I really respect. Sean Bullen, Ray Narvaez, I think that Greg Miller has also said that. And, like, I have a lot of respect for their opinions, because I generally tend to agree with them as far as, like, on game quality and stuff like that, so... I'm very excited to play Bonanza. Grifta just woke up. Well, I hope you're having a good start to your Monday, Grifta. For those that don't know, Grifta is on the other side of the planet from me. So even though it is a Sunday afternoon here, it is first thing Monday morning for Grifta. Hey, Judah, how you doing, bud? It's good to see you. Hi, Tech Wiz. How are you? Welcome, everybody. Good to see you guys. I'm glad so many people are showing up for this today. I gotta admit, when I did Mario Kart last time, almost no one showed. And I don't know if it was just because that wasn't a normal stream day, if it was because everybody was streaming Mario Kart World that day. But I'm really glad you guys are all here. Doing fine? I'm glad to hear that, Zejuto. They were playing Mario Kart themselves? Yeah, probably. I mean, that is one of the things. I've talked about this a lot as like a smaller channel. I don't like to do games on release because literally everybody else is also playing that same game on release. And it's a shame because there's a lot of games that I would really love to do on release, but it's like unless you got that like built-in, audience that's always going to be there, have fun. Because you have a lot of competition that day. But I really do like World a lot, as a whole. There's a lot of, like, nitpicks with it, for sure. Like, definite improvements, but I think we've talked about this. It's like, I only really tend to nitpick things that I like. If I don't enjoy a game, I usually just say, okay, I didn't enjoy that very much, and just move on. Speaking of nitpicks, you know what I really wish Nintendo would stop doing? I wish they would stop slow releasing their old console games. Like, there are so many titles that they're still missing from their library, and it's like, why? Aaron, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome on in, everybody. Aaron, how was your scary stream? And, did the raid alert not go off for anybody else? I did not hear the raid alert. I may need to reset the bot. Okay, you guys heard it. I just didn't. I may need to adjust my, my sound. Alright, as long as you guys heard it, that's all that matters. Oh, you know what? I think I know what happened. I'll fix it in just a sec. It'll only take a moment. I think I see what happened. Hi, Aaron. Hey, Typhlosion. Welcome on in. Good to see you. It's been a long day, but it's nice to see you all. Well, Aaron, it's nice to have you here. Oh my gosh. I am absolutely throwing... Admittedly, I'm not throwing as bad as Chibi during Mario Kart Double Dash with the rest of the Piss Boys, but I'm still throwing. Ah, my protection! But welcome. How was the scare stream, Aaron? I hope you had a good time. Thanks for the raid, as always. If you guys can, please go give Aaron a follow. She's awesome. Oh gosh, I got so lucky there. Had to switch to mouse and keyboard bad. I'm sorry to hear that. I think my headphones are dying, which is unfortunate. Still funny to everyone else, so I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad everyone else had a good time, Aaron. I'm sorry you did not. But alrighty. Got a 3-star on my very first 150cc circuit. I definitely feel, just based on what I've been told, because I don't think I'm that good at Mario Kart. Like, I'm good, but I don't think I'm that good. I definitely feel the CPUs got nerfed a little bit. But there you go, guys. One Grand Prix down. 7 more to go. And again, I want to thank everybody who helped unlock this by supporting the Trevor Project. Much appreciated. I believe this was the $500 goal, but I'm not 100% sure. Man, that shell dodged every single one of those bananas I just dropped on it, and then it took out my red shell. Man, there's been a lot of Kameks, this playthrough. Not that I'm, like, complaining, but do you know how long it took me to get every character in the game? It was a lot of farming. A lot of farming. Some of them were really difficult to get. I think Fishbone is what he's called, the undead fish. And he was a pain in the butt. I think that took me almost 50 tries to get him. The other one that was really difficult for me to get was Swoop. Swoop was very, very difficult to get. And Swoop, for those that don't know, is the purple bat. Yeah, you know, they're not hanging in there. Unemployment is awful. But I can't, you know, I'm just trying to find another job. Trying not to get too frustrated with people. But we talked a lot about it on Friday night, if you guys didn't hear. So I won't repeat a lot of that today, but yeah, people are pretty brutal when it comes to hiring. There's a lot of people that just, I'll just be honest, they don't know what they're doing. Who are in positions to hire people, and they have no idea what they're doing. Like, they don't know what they're looking for, they don't know how to use the tools they're using. I will say this, I did get a rejection email, or rather a follow-up, asking if I would still be interested in a job, which of course I said yes. And they said, yeah, we're contacting a bunch of people because we found out that the AI we were using to scan resumes was only allowing for people with, like, exactly 4 years of experience. And it took all my willpower to tell them, this is why you don't use garbage. Like, I had to refrain from telling them that. It was pretty great. So yeah, that was kind of my story from this weekend, is that, yeah, I got an email from I'll just put it this way, from a recruiting agency that anyone in tech has heard about. They're like, oh yeah, we realized there was an error with the way we had our filtering software set up. It's like, I just can only imagine how long it took them to I can only imagine how long it took them to realize they They had a mistake, yeah. And it's just, if it weren't so sad, it would be really laughable. But it's like, these are people who are supposed to be, like, in charge of hiring, you know? And it's like, ooh. You can't even, you know, like, set up a basic filter right. You probably shouldn't be in that position. Aaron, I'm not going to out them because I still do potentially want to get a job. But I will just say you did name it in your comment, okay? I'll just say that. You got it immediate. You got it immediately. But yeah. It's just, it's so crazy. The job market is so crazy right now. So, yeah, so that's been a bit of an adventure, but I'm cautiously optimistic that I'll hear from somebody sooner rather than later. I've gotten reached out now twice, whereas, you know, I hadn't heard anything for like 2 months prior to that. So, we'll see. And I found out I'm still in the running for several, you know, pretty well-paying jobs, so I'm hopeful I can get one of those, because if I could do that, then it would be like, oh yeah, then even if anything happens, as long as I'm smart with my money, I'll be good for a while. I appreciate it, Aaron. Yeah, the thing is that so many companies are using tools that they don't understand, and there's so many that. Like, I'll just give you guys an example. There is a credit union I applied for, and I'm not going to give their name, but they have had a job posting since last year. Last year. And it's on their website, so it's not like one of the ones where it's like, oh, they put it on LinkedIn and they forgot about it. Like, no, this is on their website. It's being updated. It's being reposted. They're, like, actively seeking a candidate out. And they have reposted it a grand total of 14 times. Or was it 15? And I am convinced that they are either not actually hiring for the position, in which case it's really weird that they keep reposting it, or that they have their filters set up in such a way that they're excluding every candidate they get. Or it's just a sock puppet requirement that they keep open a show they're looking for. Potentially, that could be it, but based on what I know about, like, LinkedIn, for example, particularly if you want to repost it, they're paying money to do that. So unless they're perfectly content just throwing money at the wall, which, hey, or to the credit union where that's all they were doing, you know, I could have, you know, for me, it just doesn't make any sense. Your company had managers that used to open requirements just to avoid losing the open requirement? Yeah, that sounds about right. Could be using it to train their AI. They could, but the credit union space, I don't know. They've been really slow to embrace AI, probably because they have a lot more to lose as a financial institution than almost any other company. Like, not only that, but credit unions are member-driven, meaning that, you know, they're not beholden to, like, a bunch of rich, isolated shareholders, right? Which is a big issue with, like, a lot of other tech companies, is that the people who are making the decisions have zero idea of what they're doing or what even reality is like because they have that much fucking money. The example I use is, like, really outdated, but it's always when, like... It's a very infamous moment in American politics when the President of the United States didn't understand how, like, a checkout register worked at a grocery store. And admittedly, this was, like, 30 years ago now, but... there was a wealth gap then. There's definitely a wealth gap now, I can tell you that. I've worked with some of them. Oh, so one story I didn't tell you guys, now that I'm just thinking about it. One story that I did not get a chance to tell you yet is that I had a conversation with some lawyers the other day. So for those that don't know, some context here. At my old job, which was a federal government contractor, I had to sign an NDA. The NDA was not very specific, so I, being the responsible person I am, and overly cautious, some would say paranoid person, have been very, very, careful about anything I talk about relating to my job. And basically I found out, the long story short, I had a conversation with the lawyers at my old company because, I wanted to know specifically what was covered and what was not. And they basically told me that as soon as my employment with them officially ends, I can basically talk about anything I want because everything covered by the NDA I don't know anything about. So that was kind of fun. So I should have some good stories for you guys here pretty soon once my contract officially ends. But yeah, figured you guys would be interested in that because yeah, I can talk about like what I did and you know what was going on behind the scenes with the current administration and even the previous administration. I can spill some tea on both of those if you guys are interested in that sort of thing. Now, there are some things I can't talk about, obviously, but I can share some general stories anyway. Alright, so that's 2 circuits down, 6 left. And yeah, I've managed to be perfect on the first 2, so I'm definitely convinced that either people were over-exaggerating how difficult the CPUs were, which I kind of doubt, given the quality of the Mario Kart players that were telling me this, or Nintendo nerfed it a little bit. That's kind of my conclusion so far. Well, we'll see, but like, I gotta tell you guys, I think I had a harder time at like the 100cc taking first place than I have with this so far. Silly, I really appreciate you saying that, but I want to tell you for a fact I do not think that's the case. Silly says, or you were just that good. I am good at Mario Kart. I don't want to, like, downplay that. I don't want any false modesty, right? But I did all of the circuits in 100cc, and I had a pretty tough time getting perfect. Which is why I think there was a nerf of some kind with the CPU difficulty. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my gut feeling with this right now. Ouch. just blew myself up to take down Rosalina. Just can't let us gloss you up at all. Sheesh. Nope. Not allowed. Look, I don't know if you guys were there when Hang Time did the Pokemon randomizer and Sean was going off his rocker with the people in chat. But, yeah, I am apparently just, I am apparently just the worst human being on the planet, according to Hang Time's lore. As Sean does, yeah. It was pretty funny because, he made... Ooh, he had some pretty far out there stuff, and the line he said was like, Shenzo has this Pokemon as a fleshlight or something like that. It was Lickitung, was the one that the random generator picked. And I don't know about you guys, but I about died fucking laughing. I thought that was the funniest fucking shit ever. What'd that tongue do, I guess? Yep, pretty much. But the best part is that when Sean made that statement, like, the Pokemon hadn't been picked yet, and then it was picked. Hey, Mask. How you doing, bud? It's good to see you. But yeah, I thought it was hilarious. 'Cause yeah, I am just, like, the most, like, deviant, like... Trump-supporting son of a bitch in the entire Hang Time chat, I guess second only to Cloudless one, I guess? Like, according to the lore there. Yes you did, Mask. Yes, you did. Oh, Mask. That was only, my friend, that was just the tip of the iceberg. Hello, Ace. Hi, our snowman. No comment. No comment, Mask. No comment. Something like that, Aaron, yeah. Something like that. Sean went off the wall, as he does during the Pokemon randomizer and rental randomizer streams. And while they were picking it out, he would, like, pick out people in chat. So, like, Femzy, myself, a couple others. And then he would say just something very, very, like, disturbing about the Pokemon and the chatter. And then, you know, they would pick the random... Then they would pick it from the randomizer. And, yeah. That's basically what happened, yeah. Sean being Sean, 100%. Lord, you're making me go click happy over here. I know, right? I was surprised because it kept triggering on the exact same word. Oh, look, I'm a penguin. So I just went in and allowed them all, and hopefully that'll fix it. I may just go in and customize auto mod. That might be a a feature I gotta work on. Is I may have to go in and like manually customize auto mod. Kind of like Hang Time and their mods do. Always a new project. So Tegwiz, it has when I allow it, it does, but apparently not when Raynella does, which is really weird. Given that she's a mod. So I'll have to look into that, because you might be right. But yeah, it's like if I allow whatever phrase is, then it's fine. Then everyone else is okay. But if Raynella does it for whatever reason, that's not how it works. Yeah, Raynella may have the sword, but they don't possess the crown. Damn straight. At least not here, anyway. It also could be a weird thing with Twitch Mobile, because as we all know, despite Twitch's best efforts to turn their mobile app into something useful, they largely have not succeeded. Speaking of Twitch fucking up, did you guys hear about the 2 recent big fuck-ups with CEO Dan Clancy himself? Did you guys hear about what happened over the last, like, couple days? Well, Ace hasn't. No dish? Okay. So, the first thing is that, for those that don't know, and, like, here's the thing. I've never met Dan Clancy. I don't know Dan Clancy, so please don't take this as, like, a personal attack on the man. But his big initiative has been guest star. And as you guys know, I've already talked a lot about guest star. Long story short, it's not a good feature. It doesn't do anything it really is intended to. And it's not used by, like, anybody. Again, not to say there aren't some good parts about guest star, but as a whole, the feature does not work. And that's been Clancy's, like, #1 priority as CEO. That's been his, like, pet project. Well, as you know, he streams every now and then, which, you know, for Twitch CEO, that's a good thing. You know, he's actually trying to use his platform, right? A lot of other CEOs never bothered to do that. So, want to be clear, that's not a bad thing. But they were trying to use guest star, because again, it's his baby. It's his project. And in 30 minutes, it did not work. And Clancy got visibly frustrated on stream, live, over this feature. Because again, it doesn't work. It's not a good feature. And Twitch has invested a ton of money into the feature. So that was controversy #1. Was that Clancy, live on Twitch, pretty much lost his temper. He didn't actually, like, get super pissed, but he was visibly frustrated with his own feature. So that's controversy #1. The second one is that apparently, and I just found this out today, Clancy has been advocating for partnered streamers in order to grow on the channel to post messages in other streamers' channels asking them for a raid. Which anyone on Twitch knows is a huge breach of streamer etiquette. And There is a screenshot of him doing this. And again, I don't know Clancy. I will say, compared to past Twitch CEOs, he's certainly way more active in his day-to-day runnings of the company. But it again just goes to show that, like, no matter how good his intentions may or may not be, and again, I don't know him, I've never met him, so I can't judge him, but it's like, to me, it just really shows that he's just going about it the wrong way, and that he unfortunately doesn't have a good understanding of his own platform. Even after all the first-hand experience, he does not have a good understanding of his own platform. And I think that's extremely unfortunate, you know, to put it politely. But yeah, those are the two, like, big things that happened over the last couple days involving Mr. Clancy. And yeah, a lot of people are like, ugh. Because, yeah, you know, for a lot of us who are trying to succeed on this platform, we are not getting the the tools or the support we need to be successful on the platform. I don't think that's a unfair or controversial statement. You know, I think we've talked about this before, but the advice to grow is to literally post your content everywhere else. And I can't think of a single other company where that is ever good advice. New to Twitch, don't understand what you're talking about. That's alright, Raven. What don't you understand? If you have any questions, feel free to ask. There is no such thing as a bad question. Particularly if you're asking for knowledge and not, you know, to be a dick. But yeah, let me see if I can find the post on Blue Sky about this. Yeah, here it is. So I just posted the link in chat. YouTube, just look up Zach Bussey, or Bussey, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Zachbussey. Yeah, and he has the story, and he has it confirmed that this is a real message. But there you go, guys, if you want to check it out. Yeah, TechWiz, they are the most effective way to grow, but the problem is that Guest Star doesn't work. Guest Star doesn't do that. The only way that you, I've talked a lot about this with collabs, and why, yes, they are a really good way to grow on the channel. But the flip side is that the only way you can grow with a collab is if you are collabing with the creator with a different audience than you. And the biggest issue is that a lot of people who have different audiences don't ever reach out beyond their own, you know, audience group. There's also other issues where, in order to grow off collabs, you also usually need to stream with someone bigger than you. And most of the larger streamers, there's no incentive for them whatsoever to stream with smaller creators. Ouch. So, I agree that the I agree that collabing is useful, but it is limited. Based on the way Twitch works. But yeah, it's just again pretty wild because it's like, as much as I would like to, you know, like and support what Twitch is doing, it's just yeah, their leadership just doesn't understand their own platform, and that's super frustrating. CEO's gonna resign within 1 to 3 months after this, possibly. Mass says, raids are a double-edged blade in my eyes, so I'm lucky if I have more than 4 people on chat. Getting a raid of 20 plus makes me excited to be exposed to more faces, but at the same time, when you watch the number decline back to 4, it also deflates you. Yeah. And then hate raids are also a thing too, unfortunately. So yeah, that's for sure. Always feel safe to ask questions here. This community just don't understand technology in general. That's alright, Raven. Yeah, not everybody can be great at it. So, which part isn't true, TechWiz? Because I've been doing this for 4 years, and I have my own data that I have and I've studied. As an example. And we've also seen it with other creators that aren't nearly as big. Like, it's a very common problem among all small creators. So I don't know which part you're saying, because I have not said anything that my data does not back up. Let me just put it that way. So the context of Clancy's comment is that he was trying to push his charity event, he was just trying to get word out, but obviously doesn't do the streamer thing to move his visibility. Oh yeah, so he's trying to get, yeah, so what you're saying is he's trying to get his charity thing out, so he's going to post in partnered streamer chats to try and raise awareness. So he's asking bigger streamers, the CEO of Twitch, which is in itself a bit of a conflict of interest, to get more attention on the charity. Yeah. The problem is the way he went about it goes against basic streamer etiquette on his own platform. Because I agree, like, getting the word out would be good. But you don't... Basic streamer etiquette is you don't go into someone else's chat to promote your own stuff. And because Twitch has no other real means of discoverability aside from doing that, that's why he had to do it. Which is what I was trying to point out, is that part of the problem is that he's not technically incorrect. But it's one of those things where, because he doesn't understand his own platform and the limitations of his own platform, he did a pretty much the #1 breach of streamer etiquette that... or anyone would get banned if they went in and did that. Got it. Okay, got it. So you're talking more... We're talking about two different things. You're talking more about how his statement might be factually correct. I'm talking about how... I'm talking more about for Twitch. You're talking about his statement alone, isolated. Okay, got it. Yeah, the etiquette is bad. Not only is it bad, but it also would not work for anyone who was not already in a position of power. You know what I mean? Thank you for the lurk mask. So you say he's not talking out of his ass, but in the context that he's doing it, he is. and that's the thing. Perhaps in an ideal situation, no, he wouldn't be. But when it comes to the Twitch platform and the context of which he's doing it, it is 100% talking out of his ass. Because if anyone else went in and did that, the first thing that would happen is they would get banned by the moderators in the chat. Now, if you take his statements out of the Twitch context and just apply it as general business sense, then yes. It's absolutely not talking out of his ass. But for me, I've always been big on, like, you know, context and time and all that matters. And that's just something that just shows to me that, like, yeah, Clancy's not a bad businessman by any stretch. But he doesn't understand Twitch, and given that he runs the company, that's the problem. Yes. What? So, TechWiz summed it up perfectly what the appropriate thing is. Make those collaboration agreements outside of chat. Exactly. DM them privately, whether it's on Twitter or Discord or Twitch Whispers or whatever it is. You do not do it in a public setting while the streamer is live. And that's why I say it's like, it's not bad advice, it's just wrongly applied. And that's what I mean by, like, it's kind of coming out of his ass because any streamer knows that etiquette. And for those that don't know, again, like, I'm not trying to criticize Clancy as a human being. I don't know him. But I am criticizing him as the head of Twitch. Just general business sense. You don't do business out in public unless necessary. Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, fair point. Not even a streamer, and I know. Yeah, it's pretty much the number one rule is that you don't self-promote in someone else's chat unless you have permission. So, and again, that's just kind of my problem, is like, that's a very, it's one of two things. It's either a very narcissistic thing, or it's a very amateur thing. Either way, it doesn't instill a lot of confidence for me in the CEO of Twitch. I think that's fair to say. But, like I said, it's just something where what Twitch is missing, quite frankly, is that they are missing tools to help smaller streamers, or just streamers in general, grow on the platform. They're missing discovery. They're missing, good communication tools. They're missing more control over, like, ads. Those are the things that, like, would really help creators a lot. Particularly smaller ones. And I'm not going to pretend that I have all the answers, but I do know that what they're currently trying to do doesn't work. And it's a shame because there's some really good ideas in there. Like, shared chat, for example, is a pretty good idea for smaller creators. I don't know how good it is for larger creators, quite frankly. But yeah. Hey, T1, good morning. Mario Need for Speed, damn straight. Although, technically, shouldn't Need for Speed be called not Mario Racing? Because I'm pretty sure the first Mario Kart came out before the first Need for Speed. I have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure. Then I'll be like, go over this particular action, but more of the action pretends to faulty decisions making that may result in it. Yeah, potentially. I agree with T1. I don't think Clancy is going to resign over this. I really don't. But we'll see. I mean, weirder things have happened, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being naive. Maybe there's things I don't know about, but when I look at Twitch, their goal has repeatedly been to become profitable. And the only reason they're going to be able to become profitable is if they can bring people over. And the only way they bring people over is if they actually invest in their own creators. Because all the money, all the main monetary sources, one way or the other, come from the creators on the platform. Even ad revenue comes from the creators. And if you're wondering, man, how does that work? Well, ad rates are determined by viewership. So, you can get a better deal when you have more eyes on the product. Because advertisers obviously want to get as many eyes on the product as possible. So, in order to do that, okay, you need to be willing to invest in building up audiences for more than just a handful of creators so you get more ads. The downside is the way that creators get paid, because creators don't make shit on ad revenue, is that they get paid through subs, which, guess what? Remove ads. So, the more subs a creator has, the less ad revenue they will make. So you have two systems that basically contradict each other. Doesn't entirely contradict each other, but that's generally how the math works. What are you doing here, mister? Oh. Mario Kart came out in 92, Need for Speed 94. There we go. Look, if CEOs got fired for faux pas, there wouldn't be CEOs anymore. True. Speaking from a non-CEO mindset, that's half the problem with CEOs. True. So I'm a big thing. Like, I think both of you have points there. I'm not going to get into this discussion too much, but I will say this. My general belief structure is that the more responsibility you have, the higher standard we should hold. That's my general outlook and philosophy. Which is nowhere near what actually happens in real life, mind you. But that's my philosophy. Related, my philosophy is also that CEOs as a whole are generally very overpaid for what work they actually do. So there you go. That's the only two comments I'm going to make on that. Oh, Tanner may need to go out. Alright, I'll be right there, Tanner boy. Hang tight. Sounds good, Raven. Alright, I'm gonna pause to go let my dog out. Hey, YouTube, I'm back. Just need to let my dog out. Sorry about that. Let's continue on with the race. I know we've been yapping a lot. We talk about a lot of stuff today, which is, you know, pretty typical. So I'm not going to apologize for that. But, can you believe we're already, like, halfway through the 150cc tracks? I can't. Sorry, not sorry, Tanner's boss. I know this is true. So many cases of companies going bankrupt, but the CEO still gets a gigantic golden parachute, but they can't pay certain things. CEO has a huge salary. I mean, there's good and bad from different POVs. Oh, yeah, well, and just in general, right? Nothing is ever as black and white as, you know, some people would like us to believe, right? But that's because people themselves are complicated. But yeah, as a whole, though, yes, you know, CEOs, there are a lot of cases of people in positions of power who fuck up colossally because of bad leadership or whatever it might be. And then get a giant golden parachute. While all the people that they are responsible for, all the workers and everyone underneath them, you know, lose their jobs and potentially their homes and their livelihoods. And that's what I mean earlier about my philosophy about generally the more responsibility you have, the higher standard you should be held to. I apply this to CEOs, I apply this to managers, I apply this to police officers. If you are put into a position where you have authority to make a decision that greatly affects someone else's life, you need to be held to a higher standard, not a lower one. And I recognize that is a very idealistic approach that is not at all reflective of what reality is. But for me, that's how I was raised, that's what I have always believed, and I believe that the day you stop fighting for that is the day that we have totally lost ourselves. Not that we're in necessarily the greatest position right now anyway, but that's another story. And, you know, take it from me, you know, as someone who was fired by someone who I can tell you with 100% certainty had no idea what I did on a day-to-day basis or what I was responsible for. I can tell you with 100% certainty that that's what happened. And I look forward to telling you guys all that in more detail once my contract is officially up. Oh, this is going to be very unfortunate. Yeah, getting hit right there is brutal. Still in second somehow. Not really sure how that tracks. But, I'm not going to complain about it. Thank you, Silly. Silly is complimenting my Mario Kart skills. As I almost drove into my own bomb. I did get a gimme there, for sure. No argument there. You're all good, Silly. You're all good. Alright, there we go. Got another 15. Do they bring any of the old tracks into this one? That's a great question. I don't think so. They may have done like some homages, but I don't think any is a I don't think any of them are, like, one-to-one recreations. Because they did a lot of that with Deluxe, so I think for this one they wanted to... I think for this one they wanted to make every track pretty unique. Let me just go look here. Yeah, all those are new. Like, they brought back the names of some, but they're not the same. Like, Wario Stadium is... I don't think it's a one-to-one recreation of the old one, but maybe it is. I know Peach Stadium definitely isn't. They had a Koopa Troopa Beach in the past, but it's not the same. They did have a Peach Beach as well, but I think this one's also different. They had a Choco Mountain, but it's also different. Moo Moo Meadows, I guess, technically, but I think that's even slightly different as well. I don't think it's a one-to-one recreation. So... It was the biggest complaint for the Switch Mario Kart. Oh, that they brought a whole bunch of old tracks. I think it would have been cool to drive up to Mario Circuit and run laps Forza style. Yeah, so I've talked about this before, but like that's one of the weirdest things about this game is they have like the open world, and then you can't like start a race or do anything from the open world aside from like the pre-built challenges. The whole open world, as I've said before, just kind of feels like awkwardly kind of tacked on. Like, it's gorgeous, don't get me wrong, and it looks beautiful. Very well made, but it's just... a lot of very weird, totally in line with Nintendo game decisions in this game. And again, it's a very well-made game. There's just some stuff in here that, you know, could have done a little better, you know? I know a lot of people do not care for the water physics. I haven't really had an issue, but I do admit it's weird. Oh. Yeah, just a lot of really weird choices. Oh my gosh. It's like you're driving on a waterbed. Yes. 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 I don't remember who said that, who I heard say that first. It was either Tom Fox or Matt Bragg, but I completely agree. That is a fantastic way of describing the water physics in this game. Tech Whiz. God, King Boo is like kicking my ass right now. Of course, it also doesn't help that I really haven't gotten any useful items. Like at all this race. Okay, there we go. Let's just not get hit by that. You've got to be kidding me. I dropped 3 bananas, and not a single one of them blocked the shell. Oh, got hit by a Cheep Cheep, and Boo's gonna fly past me here. Oh! I got hit by my own banana, and that's why I didn't win this race. That mushroom would have let me pass King Boo if I hadn't hit my own banana. That's unfortunate. And guys, that's the first race I didn't win today. Had a waterbed, driving on it took a certain skill. I know, right? Well, I'm not gonna get perfect on this circuit. That's okay. That was just some bad RNG, which happens, and my own faux pas. So, based on our discussion earlier, I should be fired for that faux pas, right? God, just getting absolutely Mario Karted so far. Alright. Won't be needing any ocean motion when you're going on a car bed. True. I'm getting absolutely Mario Karted this round. Luckily, though, I can still see King Boo, so that's a plus. Oh, look at that! I got Swoop on this stage. Gosh! Stop hitting me with red shells, damn it! Welcome back, Raven. Damn it, man! So many red shells! I'm gonna have to do pretty well, because Boo's beat me twice. That's Mario Kart for you, though. TechWiz says, Rob, last second. Yep. Yep. That's Mario Kart, though. I don't know how many red shells I got hit with that game, but it was a lot. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, chat. I cannot stand the feather item. I feel so many times it just, like, kills your momentum, and it's not particularly useful in a lot of cases. Much of me was speaking in Double Entendre about the waterbed. I actually had to let the wave work with me to get up out of it. Yeah, that sounds about right. Your aunt had a waterbed? It sucked to get in and out for sure. Yeah, I can only imagine. I've only slept on a waterbed once. It was not the most pleasant experience I've ever had. I think his son belly flopped on it and flooded the apartment. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, those things are also pretty delicate, too. They wore down pretty quick, from what I remember. Alrighty. So, if I have to beat Boo in order to take gold, and I think we tie if he finishes one place behind me, and I just outright beat him if we, if he takes, like, you know, 2 places below me. So I gotta try to do my best here. Man, it's a good thing I got all those freaking bananas, am I right? So useful. So many bomb cars. Gosh, I've not gotten a lot of coins this race either. I'm getting red shelled at the finish line again, guys. Last lap, getting nothing but red shelled. Alright. I think I won, though, because it looks like King Boo took at least third. Yep. So I think, yep, I ended up beating him. Oh my gosh. That was tough. I had 2 races where I did not take first place. I took second and third. That was pretty difficult. See, that's more what I was expecting for all the races. You know what I mean? Like, just getting absolutely Mario Karted and just wrecked by, like, 1,000,000 items and stuff like that. That's what I was expecting. Shenzo is human after all. Shh, don't tell anyone. I mean, I talked about it before with, I talked about it before how I only beat Grayson, like, 1 time out of, like, 4 races at the Slumber Party. And I pretty much ran the table in Smash and in Mario Kart when I wasn't playing against Grayson anyway. Yeah, so you see how they brought back Moo Moo Meadows, but I'm pretty sure this isn't a one-to-one recreation. They just brought back the name and the theme. But it is a kind of a nice homage to the original one. Damn it, Matt Bragg, get back here! For those who don't know, Matt Bragg always plays as Bowser Jr. I do not have nearly the amount of pull to get Matt Bragg to cameo in my stream, by the way. Get wrecked, nerd. Alrighty. Oh, sweet. This should hopefully stop me from getting blue shell. Hey, look, a blue shell! Alright. We did it, guys. We did it. We did it! Yeah! On a Choco Mountain?
Victory Screech!
Thank you, T1. Yeah, it definitely sounds like my headphones are dying. I am, like, barely hearing the alerts now. Oh! Someone stole my red shell. I was waiting for Bowser Jr. to use his, and then I was gonna blast him. Let me just jump over that explosion. Yeah, like, do you guys see what I mean from, like, earlier, where it's just like, yeah, there's, like, long stretches of these races where just, like, nothing happens. I really feel if they added more item boxes, that would help a bit. Like, they don't even have to make any changes to the maps themselves, just drop a couple item boxes there, you know? Hey, Jesse, welcome on in. It's good to see you. AJ's gonna be on TNA for the first time in 10 years? I didn't even know that until you just told me. Well, that's kind of cool. TNA's definitely changed a lot since he's been gone, that's for sure. Yeah, Jesse, I'm doing alright. You know, no major complaints. Except for being unemployed, but can't really do much about that. But yeah. No, no worries, Ranella, no worries. Yeah, definitely still have the most third viewed episode after WWE and WCW. Yeah, I mean, look, TNA, they have lasted a lot longer than anyone thought they would. That's for sure. I think they are the little engine that could, and they have endured in spite of a lot of very, very silly, stupid decisions. So, you know, more power to them. But, yeah, I really hope that, you know, the TNA crowd, they give Styles the love he deserves, man. You know, not a big fan of Styles, you know, personal beliefs, but I can't deny he's a pretty unique talent in the ring. And I'm really glad that he got a couple runs with the WWE title. He'll get the biggest pop of the night, probably. I mean, it's either him or Hendry, I feel, are like the two biggest stars TNA has right now. But yeah, I hope he has a good time. I really do. You know, I mean, I don't think TNA would have been on the map if it wasn't for people like Styles, like Joe, you know, like Daniels or Kaz, James Storm, Bobby Roode, you know. Those are the guys that helped build TNA. And a lot of them stuck with it a lot longer than, well, frankly, they should have, if I'm going to be completely honest. Yeah, Awesome Kong's another one. Gail Kim. Man, it's wild to me that WWE dropped the ball so hard with Gail Kim. It really is. She's someone who I think should have been a WWE legend, Hall of Famer, and man, you talk about shit in the bed with one of the best talents in the women's division. Thank you so much for the lurk, Silly. Appreciate you. Yeah. I mean, Styles was, you know, during his time in TNA, Soccer says Styles was there for 11 years. He's been in WWE for 9. The thing about Styles is he was someone who could go anywhere on the card. Like, you needed a main eventer? Oh, just push AJ Styles. Need him to go, you know, hold up the X division? He can go do that. Tag team division? Yeah, he can do that. He was the franchise. Like, to me, Styles was the equivalent of a Stone Cold Steve Austin for WWE or a Sting for WCW. Like, when I thought of TNA wrestling, Styles was the guy I would think of. So when he left, it was a pretty big deal. And that's why I'm hoping, you know, yeah, as his homecoming will... Yeah, I'm really hoping he'll get the reception, you know, that he deserves. Yeah, I'm not really going to get too deep into the, into that analogy, Soccer, but I don't think that's an unfair comparison, for sure. But, yeah, hopefully, yeah, I hope he has a really good time, and like I said, I hope he gets the reception that he deserves. God, some of these tracks on 200cc are gonna be insane. Hey, Mama Humbug, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Jesse, how have you been? How's the kiddo doing? Is he finally feeling better? I think last time we talked, he was under the weather. So I hope kiddo's doing well. But yeah, welcome on in, everybody. For those that are just joining, we are doing every single Grand Prix at 150cc. I have managed to perfect all but one of them so far. The Leaf Cup is the only exception where I don't have 3 stars. And we are in, already, the final one, which is pretty nuts. So here we go. We're going to be doing the final Grand Prix. We're stepping into the Grand Tour, guys, and not Dragon Ball GT. We're finishing up the Mario Kart World 150cc Tour. It's pretty cool. He's doing good, but he's got another tooth coming in the back, so that's been bugging him a bit. This damn T-First, yeah. It happens. Hopefully it won't be too bad for him sooner rather than later. But I'm glad he's doing better. Oh gosh, I just ran right into that startup individual. I didn't even see who it was. They were all starred up on a Sunday afternoon. Hey, good though, you got dinner and a bath done. Hell yeah! Love that for you, Jesse. Ouch. Oh gosh, acorn. Alrighty. Let's not get squished by the giant acorn. There we go. Good to see y'all in here today. I've been running like crazy, and this first day you've had a minute to stop by. Well, I appreciate you stopping in, Mama. It's always good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we've had a really, really good viewership today. I'm so happy you guys are here hanging out, because this was a pretty big goal for the Trevor Project, and all of you guys helped unlock it. I was talking earlier about, yeah, like the last few times I've done Mario Kart, like, yeah, people just didn't show, and granted, one of them was on release day, so everyone was either playing Mario Kart or they were probably watching someone else play Mario Kart, and, you know, the other time it was just like, I don't know, just was an off day. So I'm really excited, because, like, I really like Mario Kart. When more people in my circle get a Switch 2, because I know a lot of people did not, like, I'm one of the few that did, I would really love nothing more than to do some Mario Kart World collabs, because these get insane. But yeah, I gotta wait until, you know, people decide to buy the Switch too. Which could be a while. Hi, Rabbit. How you doing? Thank you, Rabbit. I've had the beard for a while, Rabbit, but thank you. How are you? It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Difference even 1 week, though? Yeah, I guess. I do have to shave, like, every other day, otherwise I will be very, very furry. So... that is a lot of green shells. Dang it, I was supposed to be for Mario. Bowser Jr. Not you. Ugh. Oh, come on now. Okay. Jesus. I didn't mean to throw that forwards. I meant to throw it backwards. And then I almost drove into it. Still didn't, but nonetheless. I did. Almost got myself. I've been around. Last week was so annoying. I'm sorry to hear that, Rabbit. Well, it's great to have you here. Always glad to see that you are here, Rabbit. I hope you know that. Yeah, you're just in time. This is the final race. Well, not the final race, but it's the final Grand Prix of our 150cc Grand Prix race. We've done the full tour. Some would even say it's the Grand Tour. But definitely not the Dragon Ball one, because hopefully this has been a little bit better than the Dragon Ball one. Jeez, got blue shelled into lightning. That's always fun. Anything is better than the Dragon Ball one? I wouldn't go that far, Ranilla. GT at least had some hype moments. Some. I can think of at least a handful of series I would that I think I would rank GT above. I'm just saying. Thank you for that coin, Mario Kart. Much appreciated. GT opening song still has me like, okay then. What, you don't like to step into the Grand Tour? Step into the Grand Tour, Dragon Ball GT. You're not a fan? Not a fan, Ranella? Not a fan? Ah, Ranella's a hater, I knew it. The next thing you're gonna tell me is you don't appreciate the One Piece rap. There were a lot of choice English anime openings at that time. No comment. On the Grand Line! Like the Naruto Season 1 US opening? Oh, yeah. Yeah, the late 90s to early 2000s anime theme, English theme song were certainly a choice. What do we just grunt for 90s? Cool with you? Cool with me? Yeah, I had an acquaintance that I've since fallen out of touch with. He used to live stream art. Back like when Twitch was still Justin TV and dinosaurs roamed the earth. And we were talking about like a lot of the English openings for for anime series, and he had a line that I just couldn't help with agree with, and it was just imagine a whole bunch of like old white men. Like, how do we bring Japanese animation to today's youth? I know. What if we introduce all of them with really cheesy rap? That'll bring in kids today like rap, right? And that just stuck with me ever since I heard it. Cause yeah, that's probably exactly what happened. Yeah, Pokemon did it, why not? Yeah, exactly. Digimon did it too. Pokemon, Digimon, One Piece, Dragon Ball, GT. Yeah, there was a lot of, like, children's animation at that time. They were like, yeah, let's bring in, like, some of the cheesiest rap that we can come up with. Ugh. Step into the Grand Tour made me want to step out. Again, Ranella, just a hater. Ranella Star, my mod, notorious hater. Yeah, so, yeah, Rabbit, before you were born. It's not actually true, but Rabbit is very young compared to the rest of us here. No, Justin TV was Twitch before Twitch. Well, I admit, that shell didn't go the direction I thought it was going to go in. And, man, I just yeeted that bomb off the stage. Oh, that's unfortunate. Very first internet live stream was the CEO himself with a satellite laptop and a backpack with multiple batteries and a camera strapped to his ball cap. He also had multiple cameras set up in his home. I think there were only a couple hundred of us in the chat room at the time, but I was one of the first, and you were two we likely talked then. Yeah, I wasn't there at the time. I think the first time I ever saw Justin TV was because my friend was trying to stream there for his art. Because there weren't a lot of, like, alternatives back then to live streaming. There was, like, I think there was, like, livestream.io was one. There's one that starts with a P that I can't remember that's allegedly still alive today, like Picarto, I think. But there were very few live streaming options way back in the day. But yeah, I didn't ever officially sign up for Twitch until well after Twitch became Twitch. Furry art streaming base was born on Justin.tv? Hell yeah, it was. Yeah, Justin was pretty much the only one, and then like everything else spun off Justin. Picarto, I think, originally spun off Justin. Livestream.io did, or whatever the hell it was called. But I remember they were pretty much like only... Yeah, it was like Justin was the only one when it started, and then everyone else kind of spun off after that. But there we go, guys. We finished. And I got perfect on all of them except for one. So we'll watch credits. Okay, true. Technically, technically cam girls came, but yeah. That is true. Technically, cam girls existed before Justin TV. That is true. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for hanging out and yapping today while we played some Mario Kart. Yeah, aside from that one, I think it was the Leaf Cup, I did pretty well. Didn't really have too many close calls. But yeah, I really enjoy World a lot, so I appreciate all you guys coming out. We have insane viewership today, so thank you guys very, very much. Talked about a lot of different stuff, a lot of fun stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it was entertaining, just talking to chat, hanging out. But yeah, it was a really, really good time, that's for sure. I still stand by that there's some minor changes that they could make, Nintendo could make to this game, or some big improvements. They definitely have to fix the character creation UI. They should add some more item boxes on some of the tour maps, you know, where you're driving to the next track. But yeah, overall it was a really, I do really like this game a lot. And I do hope for anyone who does get a Switch 2, if you choose not to, I totally understand, but if you do get a Switch 2 and you want to play with me, let me know. It'd be pretty cool to get some Mario Kart World collabs. That's for sure. But yeah, definitely a lot of potential here in this game. Just like all Mario Karts, right? I mean, it's a pretty good one. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this game as a whole. I've said a lot about it before, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. I definitely enjoy it. You know, Mario Kart World yet? Fair enough, MC. It's pretty good. I like it, but I think I said earlier, you know, beforehand, with Mario Kart World, this game is, I don't know if it's worth the price point Nintendo is putting it at. That's my honest opinion. I think it's a great game. I don't know if it's worth, like, the, you know, 80, 90 bucks it would take to actually get the game. But that's just my take. I think it's a good game. I think it's a solid game. But, yeah, I'm very, very happy with it overall. But I think it's, if you wait for it to go on sale, I don't blame you. I literally only got it because I got the Switch bundle, so I basically got it for 50 bucks. So, yeah. Only reason you have Bonanza is because you won it from Mr. Bragg. Oh, congratulations! That's awesome. Hell yeah. Nice job, Shenzo. See, I'm not always a hater, just a GT. Fair enough. Yeah, I definitely want to get Bonanza. Like, I owe you guys a playthrough of Bonanza. I'm probably not going to... I'm probably not going to be able to purchase it until I get another job, unfortunately. But we will be playing Bonanza at some point. It will just probably be much, much later than everybody else. Which is pretty typical for me, honestly. But it works for me, too. So, you know, here we are playing World, you know, a month and a half after its release, and this is probably the highest viewership I've had in a long time. So, yeah. Trying to figure out if you should get one for the kids or not. I think you could wait. I say that as like a dar-hide Nintendo fan, but I think you could wait. Kids like the new Pokemon games. They will love how it runs on Switch 2. If you have the expansion pack for Switch Online, you also get the Switch 2 version for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, assuming you already have both of the base games, yeah. Yeah, I think you could be... I think you could wait for now. I haven't played Bonanza. I've heard Bonanza's like Game of the Year. But... I think the current Switch 2 library... I don't necessarily think it's worth it for now. But... You know, like I said, that's my 2 cents on it, is I think it's a good console. I like it. But... without playing Bonanza, I don't know if that's enough. I really don't. But like I said, that's just my 2 cents. Don't, you know, I'm just one random guy on the internet, you know. Bonanza's worth it, Femsy says, so there you go. But there we go. Say cheese! Thank you for playing Mario Kart World. You're welcome. Alright, and so on that note, guys, YouTube, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my playthrough of all of the games. We talked a lot, so I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time, okay? Bye-bye, YouTube!